is the Fifth Estate, a conversation between young African scholars from the Fort School of Government and Professor Mutahi Nguni. This Sunday, we submit that the country is at an inflection point. In mathematics, this is the highest point on a curve. The decisions made at this point will either bring one down or thrust one to new heights. In our case, the Supreme Court will make the decisions. These decisions will burn country or thrust Kenya to new heights. But we are nervous because of unresolved questions. Was the August 8th election nullified based on fake documents? This allegation is on record, but remains unresolved. Did Justice Mwilu and Lenaola meet Wetangula and James Orengo at Skyview Apartments in Kileleshwa before making their ruling? This allegation is on record, but remains unresolved. Why did Maraga call for a sitting of the Supreme Court on October 25th, the day before the elections and a public holiday? Did he want to stop the election? This mystery remains unresolved. This litany of suspicious allegations makes the Supreme Court look like a clearinghouse for political interests and less of a house of neutral justice. But I could also be wrong.
But how did we get here? How did the most stable country in Eastern Africa degenerate into a laughingstock? We have a hypothesis. In 2010, Kibaki and Raila rammed a half-baked constitution down our throats. And because we were afraid of civil war, we ate the Katiba Mbichi without resistance. The only man who resisted the half-baked constitution openly was William Ruto. Uhuru Kenyatta and Kalonzo Musyoka resisted it in private. And because we ate Katiba Mbichi, cooked by Muzungu experts and inexperienced local activists, the country is now suffering from political constipation. Yes, the feeling we all have is that of constipation. Jubilee is constipated, NASA is constipated, and the Supreme Court judges are constipated. If Raila is desperate, it is because he is politically constipated. There are no avenues for Baba to pass wind. What is our point here? Constitutions are made in times of crisis. If made without a crisis, they precipitate a crisis. Katiba Mbichi was not made out of the 2007 crisis. Our constitution, 50 years after independence, was made from the cleverness of the heads of Muzungu experts. What a shame.
If Raila has admitted that he misengineered the 2010 constitution, how must Uhuru treat him? In our view, Uhuru must treat Raila the way Greek hero Perseus treated the monster called Medusa. Medusa was a monster whose hair was made up of snakes, and whose face was so ugly that anyone who stared at her turned into stone. In order to slay her, the Greek hero Perseus had to hold a mirror to Medusa's face. Her ugly image on the mirror would ultimately lead to her end. And so Perseus polished his bronze shield into a mirror. Then he approached Medusa with the mirror shield. When Medusa saw her ugly face in the mirror, she got confused by her ugliness. And this is how the Greek hero Perseus sneaked under the shield and slayed the ugly Medusa. The only way for Uhuru to slay Raila is to mirror image him. If Raila is collecting 1 million signatures for constitutional referendum, Uhuru should collect 7 million signatures. If Raila sponsors a bill in parliament for secession, Uhuru should also sponsor a bill in parliament. In high politics, mirror imaging is the only effective tool of warfare.
As a young student of law, I want to propose another way of dealing with Raila. I believe that Uhuru should continue to do nothing. The left on his own, Raila will self-destruct. He will cannibalize himself. And on this, I am informed by the historical principle of the power of slow, that those who study the rhythms of time are not rushed by time. In fact, they slow down time. It is called the Joshua principle in the Holy Bible. And Uhuru should slow down time on Raila. If he's rushed by Raila, he will lose control. But if he's patient, he will control Raila. Uhuru will hide under the grass and slither under the rocks. And when the time is right, he will bear out his fangs and attack. Raila will be caught flat-footed. What I have learned about politics is that timing is everything. If Raila is in a hurry, Uhuru should slow down. If Raila slows down, Uhuru should hurry. In sum, I would not change a thing about what Uhuru is doing. The only thing I would change is the outcome of the Supreme Court ruling.
I would want to inform the country that Raila has absolutely no plan. And if there is anyone out there with a copy of Raila's plan, I invite them to share it with us. In my view, Raila is just a gambler. And he is gambling with ideas to see which one will work, from economic sabotage to secession, interim government to reporting Kenyans to Muzungus in America. All these are gambles in search of one good luck. And this is why Uhuru should give Raila the Matharao card. But as he does it, he should pay attention to two important things. Number one, after the August victory, Jubilee went to sleep. They were woken up by the Maraga shock. And they seemed to be repeating the same sleeping sickness after the October victory. Yet the Maraga, who executed a coup in August, could execute a second coup in 8 days on November 20th. If the October election is nullified, in my view, country will snap. And that's why I invite Uhuru to do everything humanly possible to ensure a nullification does not happen. After all, Uhuru is a state, and he can do that. Number two, constitutional change is inevitable in my view. Our constitution is a patchwork of political jokes. It is actually a cut and paste document that reads like a first-year essay. The man who changes the constitution is a man who will heal country, and Uhuru should do this as part of his legacy projects, in my view.
And now, our final thought. If the country is at an inflection point, how will the judges rule? Will they take country down, or will they take country up? Will they nullify the election, or will they uphold it? Which moral high ground will they occupy? In our view, the law is created to serve country. When it fails to serve country, it must be trashed. The principle to guide the Supreme Court, therefore, is simple. If the Constitution and the law do not serve country, they must be ignored. If our political crisis is caused by a Katiba Mbichi, what is wrong with us changing it? If Raila wants to change it, Jubilee should not defend it. Jubilee should in fact be at the forefront of changing the Constitution. This way they will take the thunder away from Raila. What is our point here? Country is in a delicate place, and the person who understands the rhythms of time will carry the day. If the times call for change in favor of Raila, the times also call for change to retire Raila. The time to retire Raila is now.